The night she finally broke was the kind of night people imagine when they think of being completely forgotten by the world. Snow pressed down on the city like a heavy memory, streetlights flickered with tired yellow halos, and somewhere far away church bells rang for Christmas Eve while she sat alone in her patrol car, engine off, hands shaking against the steering wheel. She was a police officer trained to run toward danger, but on this night she was lost in a way no map could fix, stripped of direction, purpose, and hope. She did not know yet that one small act of kindness from a stranger would change the course of her life forever. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that happen when no one is watching, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us that humanity still matters. She had joined the force believing order could be brought to chaos, believing that if she worked hard enough, stood strong enough, she could outrun the pain she carried from her past. But pain has a way of waiting patiently. This Christmas marked the third year since her partner had been killed during a routine call, a moment that replayed endlessly in her mind like a cruel loop. The department had offered support, time off, counseling, but grief does not follow procedures or schedules. She returned to duty too quickly, wearing her uniform like armor, convincing herself she was fine. By this Christmas Eve, the armor had cracked beyond repair. Earlier that evening, she had responded to a domestic dispute that escalated into something ugly and familiar. The cries, the fear, the helplessness mirrored memories she had never fully buried. After filing the report, she sat in her car unable to turn the key, her chest tight, breath shallow, eyes burning with tears she refused to let fall. Her phone buzzed with messages from coworkers wishing her a safe shift, from distant relatives sending generic holiday greetings. None of it reached her. She felt invisible, like a ghost patrolling streets filled with warmth she could no longer access. She drove aimlessly after that, missing turns, ignoring dispatch calls she reassigned, until she realized she was far outside her usual patrol zone. Snow thickened, roads narrowed, and suddenly the city gave way to quieter streets lined with modest houses glowing softly from within. Her car sputtered once, then again, and finally went silent. She tried restarting it, but the engine refused, leaving only the sound of wind and her own breathing. For the first time in years, panic fully took hold. A cop stranded on Christmas Eve, alone, exhausted, and emotionally unraveling. She stepped out into the cold to assess the situation, her boots sinking into slush, her breath forming clouds that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Her radio crackled weakly. Signal poor? The street was nearly empty, most families already gathered inside, protecting their joy from the cold. She considered knocking on a door but hesitated, embarrassed by her vulnerability. She was supposed to be the one people called when they needed help, not the one asking for it. A few houses down, a single porch light clicked on. A man stood there, watching quietly. He was in his mid-30s, wearing a worn jacket, his posture tired but alert. He was a single father, though she did not know that yet, and Christmas had not been easy for him either. His wife had passed away 2 years earlier after a sudden illness, leaving him to raise their 6-year-old daughter alone. That night, he had finished wrapping a few modest gifts after his daughter fell asleep, trying to make the holiday feel magical despite the absence that still echoed through every room. He noticed the patrol car first, then the officer standing beside it, shoulders slumped, face pale in the streetlight. He did not see authority or uniform in that moment. He saw exhaustion, loneliness, and someone barely holding themselves together. Something in him stirred, a quiet instinct born from loss. He put on his boots, grabbed his coat, and stepped outside into the cold. He approached slowly, respectfully, asking if everything was all right. She turned toward him, startled, and tried to compose herself, explaining briefly about the car trouble. Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed her. He offered to take a look, admitting he was no mechanic but handy enough to know when a car was not going anywhere soon. After a quick glance under the hood, it was clear the vehicle would need a tow, and with the storm worsening, that could take time. Without hesitation, he offered her warmth, a place to wait, and a cup of something hot. She hesitated again, professionalism clashing with desperation, but the cold decided for her. She followed him into his home, leaving behind the silent patrol car and stepping into a space filled with quiet life. The house was small but warm, decorated simply with paper snowflakes and a slightly crooked Christmas tree. The smell of cocoa lingered in the air. Inside, she removed her gloves, hands trembling now that she no longer had to be strong. The man moved calmly, heating water, offering a blanket, treating her not as an officer but as a human being who needed care. His daughter slept down the hall, the soft glow of a nightlight spilling into the living room. The simplicity of the scene overwhelmed her. She felt something inside her give way, a dam breaking after years of pressure. She began to cry silently, shoulders shaking, tears falling freely for the first time in longer than she could remember. He did not rush her, did not ask questions, did not offer hollow reassurances. He simply sat nearby, present, understanding in a way only someone who had lost deeply could be. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the hum of a heater and the ticking of a clock, she felt seen. As the night stretched on, she found herself opening up, not in words but in presence, allowing herself to exist without the weight of expectation. The man shared small pieces of his own story, the challenges of single parenthood, the loneliness of holidays after loss, the determination to keep going for his daughter. Their pain did not compete, it recognized itself in the other. Two broken people finding unexpected shelter on the coldest night of the year. Eventually, a tow truck arrived, summoned earlier by the man. When he realized the severity of this situation, she stood at the door, reluctant to leave the warmth behind, not just of the house but of the connection formed there. Before stepping back into the snow, she looked at the small tree, the quiet hallway, the man who had opened his door without question. Something had shifted inside her. The world felt a little less cruel, a little more survivable. The weeks that followed were not magically easy. Grief does not disappear because of one good night, but something had changed. She returned to therapy she had abandoned, spoke honestly with her superiors, allowed herself time to heal instead of pushing through pain. She found herself driving down that quiet street again one afternoon, not on duty this time, carrying a small bag of gifts. She did not tell herself why she was going, only that she needed to. The man opened the door, surprised, his daughter peeking from behind his leg, curious. The officer smiled, softer than before, lighter. She handed him the bag, a small token of gratitude, and inside it were gifts for his daughter and a note expressing what words had failed to say that night, that his kindness had mattered, that it had saved her in ways he might never fully understand. From then on, their lives intersected gently. Occasional dinners, shared holidays, quiet support. No grand declarations, no dramatic turns, just two people choosing to show up for each other when it mattered. She became a familiar presence in the little girl's life, a symbol of safety rather than fear. He became a reminder to her that strength could be gentle, that asking for help was not weakness. Years later, she would look back on that Christmas Eve as the moment everything began to change, not because her problems vanished, but because she learned she did not have to face them alone. The world did not suddenly become kinder, but she discovered that kindness still existed in unexpected places, waiting quietly for someone to need it. If this story touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you of the power of compassion and human connection, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who might need hope tonight, and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Before this story ends, leave a comment telling us where you are watching from and whether you believe one small act of kindness can truly change a life. On that long ago Christmas night, a lost officer and a single father found each other by accident. But what they built afterward was no accident at all. It was proof that even on the coldest nights, when hope feels far away, a single open door can lead you home.